Hi. Long time no see. Um, wow. So I got a job in January and my counselor had suggested I do that and be able to get out of the house and just be away. So kind of like my job is my new hobby for my mental health. Anyway, I did get a job and I really love the job. And I've been really enjoying it for the last couple months. Um, and I think, like, I basically stopped crocheting when I got a job. I went from crocheting all day long to hardly crocheting at all. Um, the only thing I can come up with is that the reason that I do really complex patterns in crochet is because my brain needs to keep active. And I started working and I do a lot of troubleshooting and figuring out what happened in my job with the paperwork. And that's where I'm getting my brain activity from. Like, that's the only thing I can figure out why I just stopped crocheting. But anyway, a couple days ago, Colorado went on lockdown. And I have been, Kirk and I both have been a little bit nervous because of the coronavirus because I do have MS and that puts me in the high risk group for death. And we have two little kids. They need their mom, so we've been super duper careful, washing hands constantly, etc. And I was still going to work, but when I would go in, first of all, there's only two of us that work actually in the office. And we're over 6 feet away. It's not cubicles, it's a rural agriculture office. So, anyway, they're actually exempt from the shutdown because agriculture is considered essential, which it is. But Kirk and I decided together when Colorado went on lockdown that for my safety, I need to stay home too. And thankfully, my job is very forgiving and that stuff. That's not the right word. Just really open to different schedules and different ideas on how to do things. It's actually run by a bunch of 20 and 30 somethings, and it's really cool how chill things are. I don't know if long term it's going to stay chill like that because I think they also end up with a lot of people kind of taking advantage. Not me, but other people. So anyway, so I talked to my supervisor and told her I really think I should stay home. I'm more than willing to work from home. So a lot of the work I do at work, though, I need to be in the office to do it. Like, I don't have access to all of my files at home, and I cannot bring a whole filing cabinet worth of files. I just can't. I can't bring all that home. So I brought my laptop home, and she's been scanning and emailing me the sheets that I need to do data entry on for the last 2 days. And it's only taken me like half an hour to do my work for the day, which tells me in the office I'm doing a lot more other things besides just the data entry. And originally I was hired, it said data entry. And I was like, okay, cool, data entry. But I also do all these other things like weigh buckets with product in them. And just, there's so many other things. And go through folders and batches that, and see what happened and where some of the product went and what's going on. So anyway, my data entry is only taking like half an hour a day, which is fine. The boys are also home. They've been out of school for 2 weeks now. 2 Fridays ago, our school canceled School Friday and they haven't gone back and they're not going to go back. So our school district now is delivering lunches and breakfast, actually. So they deliver lunches outside of our door every day, and in the bag with the lunches is also breakfast items for the next morning, which is helpful. I mean, my children would eat regardless, but I know that some people's children really rely on the school food. And so it's really nice. I think it's awesome. Every single kid in our school district is getting food. Everyone. The ones who normally pay, the ones who normally don't pay, the ones who might not normally eat at school, like eat school food, they might pack their lunch. They're still getting this delivered unless their parents specifically filled out a paper saying no, don't deliver to us. So I think that's really awesome. But anyway, so the last few days I actually have, like the last couple weeks since coronavirus really started up. I mean, it seems like it's been really, really bad the last week all of a sudden, at least in our area. But the 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks, I've actually done some more crocheting because I haven't been doing as much work out of the home and stuff. But anyway, I just thought I'd show you. Like, I started on this, and it's 4 strands, obviously. And you basically work it. It's in the round. And right now it's a big mess because it's been in my bag. But when it flattens out, it's a circle. And then it's like a square on the sides. And when you finish it off, it's going to be like a square on the sides, but it's going to be a circle inside. And she was making, the video tutorial I was following, she was making small ones to like make into a granny Afghan or something. But anyway, so I started on that, and that just took me a few hours, and it was just kind of a brain chiller, the other day. Now last week I was home for a day, and I started working on, I had rescued some yarn from a scarf that I found in a secondhand store. And hold on, I just noticed that it has an issue. Oh well, I'll figure that out later. Anyway, so I had rescued some yarn from a scarf, and it has sequins in it. And I found this scarf in the secondhand store, and it was actually like a machine made scarf from overseas. I mean, it was machine knit, very obviously, but I just thought the yarn was really pretty, and I got it for like $2. And so I was like, if I can salvage this yarn, this is going to be awesome. So I did salvage the yarn, and I've just had this ball of yarn sitting there, but I did start on a doily with hearts in the middle, and you can see a little bit of the sequins in there. The sequins make it really hard to frog, and it did make it more difficult to like rip out the scarf, but not super difficult. So anyway, I started on that last week, and it was the first time I'd picked up my hook in a long time. And then I started on this the other day, and I think now that we're home a lot, at least for the next couple weeks, I'll probably be doing a lot more crocheting. So maybe I'll actually show back up and talk to you guys more. And it's not that I've forgotten you guys or just not really cared about doing videos. It's weird. Like, work just completely took over my brain power or something. I don't even know how to explain it. But since I love the work, like, I'm certainly not complaining about it. I really like the work. I really like my coworkers. I like all of it. So, I mean, of course there's frustrating parts like anything, but in general, it's an amazing job and place to work, in my opinion. So anyway, so now Colorado's on lockdown because of coronavirus. I'm having to homeschool the boys. They got Chromebooks from the school district, and the teachers are sending out lessons. And Henry, our autistic son, has done amazing. He logs on, he just starts working on it, and he does a great job. Our younger one has spent a lot of time whining the last couple days. I've been like, I'm gonna rip my hair out. Like, if you would stop whining and just do the work, you would be done. You would have been done a long time ago, but instead he's whining and whining and whining. And also the stress has made me, I have completely fallen off the wagon with my diet, my ketogenic diet, which is what made me start feeling so much better with my MS. So I know rationally I have to get back on it. I have to. But I found that the stress of this pandemic and the stress of just everything has just made me really do emotional eating a lot. And so I'm trying to kind of, probably this weekend, maybe Sunday, I will force myself back on that wagon and get back on keto, because I do not want to go back to how I was feeling a few years ago before I started keto. And now I've been off keto for a week. I've been so stressed. I've just been eating everything and anything and a lot of sugar, because sugar is a drug and it relaxes me. It makes me feel better. But in general, long term, it's not making me feel better. And I know that. So I will definitely be going back. But anyway, so I watched Lottie from, Enjoying the Journey, Cancer is a Lifestyle. There. She did this tag, and that's why I got on here in the first place, and then I decided to talk to you as well. But I figured I would do this tag. It's called the How Are You Holding Up tag, which will probably be in the description. So the first question is, how are you holding up? I'm holding up okay. Our daughter moved out. She moved out in January. I don't think you guys heard about that either. She and my husband and myself have all been considered essential personnel. So she and my husband especially were on the front lines working with people in the public regularly. And she came down with something. We didn't know what. And that was last Sunday. She came down with it. And our doctor told her, of course, they're not testing for it. They're just not testing for it. So our doctor told her, even if you had every single symptom, excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. Oh my. Anyway, that's allergies. I'm not sick, but if I am, I can't pass it to you anyway, so it's okay. But it's allergies. My allergies have been really bad the last few days, and I think a lot of people have been going through that. But anyway, so she got sick, and she never did have a fever or anything, but it seems now like it was just a cold. She's about over it. But our doctor said, out of an abundance of caution, you need to quarantine yourself for 7 days from the day you got sick. So that was last Sunday. So as of this Sunday, she's off quarantine, and she's going straight back to work with the public again. So that was super duper stressful for me. Like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I was feeling super stressed about my husband dealing with the public all day long every day, and my daughter dealing with the public all day long every day. He is now working from home for the last 2 days, just like I am. We're not going into our offices anymore. His office actually, like, they closed, but they're working from home. So he's working at a little makeshift desk in our youngest son's bedroom all day from 8 to 5, and coming out for breaks and lunch, and then going back in and doing his work. So I'm super grateful that his job lets him do that. I think we're holding up actually really well compared to a lot of people that I've seen. I mean, I am a little nervous about possibly getting it and getting super duper sick, just because I am in a more high risk group. But in general, I'm feeling like we've taken a lot of precautions, and hopefully it's not going to be a big deal. So in general, we're holding up well. It's tiring to have the two boys all day long every day, and trying to homeschool them with the school district's curriculum and working. Although, like I said, my work is hardly taking me less than an hour. So, because I can't do most of what I do at work. So, let's see. The second question, are you binge watching anything? I'm not yet. My TV got broken on my son's birthday. We had a birthday party, and when I say my TV, I mean the one in our bedroom, the one that I watch when I fold copious amounts of clothing, which right now I have 4 loads of laundry and more going. So I'll be doing that today. But I was binge watching. I mean, I regularly binge watch things. and I watch them when I'm folding clothes or whatever. I started binge watching Unexpected on Hulu, I think. Yeah, Unexpected. It's about these teenage moms. Stuff like that. But my daughter says since she's in quarantine, she's been binge watching Tiger King or something, and it sounds like he is insane and life is crazy on that show, and it might be a fun one to watch. So I might start watching that today when I fold clothes. All my clothes are over here, and all the clothes I have to fold. That's why I keep looking over there. I've got baskets of clothes there. How are you spending quality time during quarantine time? That's the next question. Quality time, I guess. I've had a video chat with a friend or two. I've talked on the phone with a friend or two. Of course, my husband and I kind of try to watch something on the TV in the evening after the kids are in bed before we go to bed. It's kind of like what quality time was, except for with my friends, it's not really in person. So, are you crafting more or less? Well, more now. I actually started a couple things, which I hadn't for a long time. So, is your family crafting with you? No. No one else in my family is into crafting at all. So, oh my God, again. Sorry. Wow. Okay. How are your fur babies coping with you being home all day? Well, my fur babies are doing great. In fact, Chi-Chi's right here. She sits with me all day long, every day. She's the one we rescued in December. She used to shiver all the time. I made her a sweater. We took the bell off her collar. You want to look up there? Okay. Look up there. No? Okay. She was sleeping. But she's the little chihuahua that we rescued. She sits on my lap. As soon as I sit in my chair, she's on my lap instantly. And when I come in the bedroom, if I close the door and she's out there, she barks at the door to let me know that I forgot her. So I'm not allowed to be away from her if I'm in the house. She follows me around or she sits on me. And that's the way it is. So this is little Chi-Chi. She's thrilled that I'm home more. The rest of the dogs are just fine. The birds are doing good. The snakes, it looks like I have 2 females that will probably lay clutches of eggs, which is awesome. I made a homemade incubator. I've done that since this whole corona thing started. Right before it got really bad, we went to the landfill and we got a mini fridge that someone had thrown away because it was broken. And I have completely converted it into an incubator for snake eggs. So I did that, and I'm all prepared for snake eggs. So I'm hoping they do go. I've got 2 females that are really plump and just sitting there coiled up, and they get really hissy if you get near them. So I think they are. I think they're full of eggs. Anyway, so all the fur babies and scale babies are perfectly happy with us being home. How are we shopping now? I do shop a lot on Amazon. We do have to go to local stores to get a couple things. But honestly, like way before this started, we would go shopping once a month for toilet paper and paper towels and stuff like that at Sam's Club. And we did that in February before all this started. So we're okay on toilet paper. We're okay on paper towels. In general, we kind of stock our freezer up on a regular basis whenever there's a sale on meat or something. So really, we are totally stocked for food. We're stocked for paper products until probably, I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks from now. The only thing that we have to go out fairly regularly for is for prescriptions. And my husband's been doing that, and he's very, very cautious. And uses hand sanitizer and washes his hands a lot. So I feel like, yeah, we're doing fine. Like, we do still shop, but if it's not online shopping, then we're being very careful. And for the most part, my husband's doing it. I have gone to the pet store a couple times to get some things for our pets, like crickets for the toad and some mice for my picky snake that will only eat mice, stuff like that. But nothing crowded, nowhere where people are coughing or sneezing on me or anything like that. So, all right. Well, that's the end of the "How are you holding up" tag. I guess that's all. Now that I'm doing this, I'm thinking I really miss everybody. Why did I stop doing this? I don't know. Because I stopped crocheting and I was like, well, what am I going to talk about? How I'm not crocheting? I don't know. So anyway, but I am watching you guys sometimes, and sometimes I'll comment. But in general, I just really haven't been crocheting much. I haven't been doing much. So besides working and taking care of the kids. So I don't know. This virus has really changed stuff up. It's kind of scary. It's making me think of the Spanish flu in 1918, and I really don't want to be a part of this major history that's happening, but we don't really have a choice, do we? So anyway, I'm just hoping that none of us lose anyone super close to us, and that we all make it through okay. So I might put some pictures up. I don't know. At the end of this, it's already really long. It's over 20 minutes, so maybe I will. But just, yeah, that's about it. Like, we're doing okay. We are in our house. We are quarantined. My daughter's been quarantined, but she is going back to work Sunday. So and she stayed away from me for the last 2 weeks, since it became very obvious that it was coming to Colorado too. Because she told me, I touch people's identification every day, all day long, and I do not want to get you sick, Mom. So that's been very mature of her and sweet, but I do feel bad. She definitely misses us, and I miss her too. So it's kind of crazy how she finally moved out, and she was in a really good place, and we were all doing great, and then this kind of hit, like, she might end up moving back. I don't know, but since she's in an essential job, at this point, she will still be able to pay everything. So we'll just see what happens. Anyway, all right. I hope that all of you are healthy and happy and getting stuff done, and that no one close to you is severely harmed by this virus, and that we can all move forward in a few months, and life can go to some sort of new normal after this. Kind of like after 9/11, there was a new normal at airports that never was like that before, but we're used to it now. So, all right, talk to you later. Bye, everybody.